Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and this is the hop for hashtag Makers Creative Collab, and our theme for November is Let's Get Crayon. I think that you whether you use regular crayons that are just wax crayons or distress crayons created for Mixed Media, I think you'll find that there are many ways that you can use them. And I have a few examples here, and as you watch the hop, I'm sure that you are going to find many more ways to use them. This hop is hosted by PM Artist Studio, and you can come hang out with us in their Facebook group, Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. I will put the link in the description box. And I do have, there was a video, I'll link it below, where I made the background pages where I did some frottage, which is just, rubbing over either a texture plate, and this is a texture plate. I used light and fluffy modeling paste, but you can use any modeling paste through a stencil. And, you want a nice solid backing, so I've got some good thick card that I've done this on. And then you put the paper and you rub, like you did in kindergarten. You do your rubbings. Frottage is just a fancy word for it. You could do it on that, or you could do it on a stencil itself. I've had luck with both of them. One works, they just work a little differently. And so the background papers, like this paper here, and then some of the ones you can't see much, I did frottage with, and ink. And then another way to use crayons is sgraffito. And sgraffito is, if you can see the marks made in the crayon, I melted the crayon and then used a sharper, not too sharp that it would rip my paper, but it was sharp-ish. It's this actually is what I found out of the thrift store with some other stuff. So that, or you could use a pencil, or just anything that's gonna scrape it. And so that was what I did in some melted crayon. Whoops. And then one thing that I learned doing this is don't wait for an idea to start your project. The ideas come from doing. And this idea of doing the coloring page with all the color behind it and no color on the coloring page just came while I was doing this. I was like, oh, what if I did that? Because that's what I do. That's the way I work. I was like, what if I did this? What if I tried that? And that's why we have this craziness behind here. But he is striking and he stands out. You maybe can see a few dragonflies in the background and this forest kind of happening with all these leaves and the mushrooms and some darkness. And then this is stencil butter. And there will be a process video coming out tomorrow or the next day of how I actually created this whole thing. And I did end up framing it out. And perspective is important too, as far as he's in the front, he's the biggest. So there's perspective for that. But also when you're working on your project, sometimes you need to take a step back, look at it differently. Because I was getting really frustrated with it and I didn't love it. And then I looked through the camera and I'm like, oh, that looks better than I realized. So, you learn from doing. You need to change your perspective sometimes. Sometimes you need to take a break from things. Sometimes you need to push through. It's different things work on different days. It's never the same. So I hope that you will check out the other artists in the hop. They will be listed below in the description box. You can click on their link there. Or at the end of this video will be like a triangle. And as you can see, I've just been working on this today. My hands are pretty dirty. There'll be a little triangle that you can click on. That's an end screen that'll take you to the next person in the hop. And I'll even pause for a few seconds and not talk so that you can see it and be able to have time to click it and not miss anything that I say. So make sure you check out the description box, check out the other artists. Come check us out in Facebook, in the Facebook group. It is for artists of all kinds, beginners, pros, it doesn't matter. Come, show us your stuff, learn. It's a great place to learn and share. So I hope you guys have a delightful day. I don't do pictures. I don't do like the really good pictures at the end like some people do. So I'll just show this close up. Hopefully you guys will be able to get a good idea of it. There you go. Now I'm going to be quiet so you can click the end screen. Did you click the end screen? Go click the end screen.